So our next performer is Ari Brostov. Ari Brostov is a member of Writer Against the War on Gaza. Please welcome Ari.
Hi, Happy New Year. This poem is called I Want to Be Modern. I want to be modern. I want to encode and decode. I want to convene a working group on prayer to figure out the version that gets results. I want to write a postscript to the Bible. I want to abandon Western metaphysics for real this time, not just impulsively over the course of a December afternoon, spent trying to rotate myself into the version of the world where I can love you. I want to quit using history as my one weird trick and learn how to fuck in an interregnum. I will do my best to help destroy America. I will take the revolution seriously. I do not need to convince you it will also be funny. According to Layla Khaled, the most awkward part of hijacking an airplane is having to make small talk with the other passengers. When she took control of the plane, they went on a spin over Haifa, the city from which she was exiled age 4, sending greetings from the PFLP to air traffic controllers in Cyprus and Egypt until they landed safely in Damascus. According to Diane DePrima, you should keep amphetamines, vitamin B, and dried beans around, know every way out of your house, which neighbors can be trusted. I was with her completely until she said children should be educated in birthing calves and fixing broken arms, to the exclusion of formal logic and semantics. My Jewish heart stopped. I want a lawyer, an accountant, and a gun runner. There is already a crowd outside my house, tourists and drunk students. This is what you get for living in the metropole. I want to know why prophecy is like that. Why is it revealed as science before it appears as life, which seems inefficient? At M's party, I told T that Jesus dying for her sins was intergenerational trauma. Among my people, the memory of disaster is claustrophobic and stale. It lives in the house of the abusers. What is the shape of my militancy? I can't look. You have to look. I can't look. You have to look. I can't look. You have to look. Thank you. Free Palestine.
Woo! Thank you, Ari. I love this question. What is the shape of my militancy? Beautiful.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our next host for the 2 to 3 p.m. hour, Miren Arsenios.
Wow, this is bright. Hello, everyone. My name is Miren Arsenios. I'll be your host for this next hour. Welcome to 2024 and to the Poetry Project if you're just arriving. I'm very excited to be here to begin the year in a place that practice or shows us every day what it means to be in community, or how poetry is a place of community and solidarity. So thank you to the Poetry Project for all the work that you do. So I think we're still setting up the stage. So maybe we'll take 1 minute or two. Okay. Are we ready? No, not yet. And yes, Free Palestine.
Check. 1, 2, 2, 2.
Okay. Okay. Yeah? Okay, so, ooh. I don't think this is working. Okay. So our next performers are Ka Bard, and Shelley Hirsch. Welcome. Kai Bard and Shelley Hirsch will present their dynamic duo, improvising scrambled texts, extended voice, and microphone techniques and movement. Please welcome Ka and Shelley.
Ceasefire. Please, let me do that. Rise up, rise up. Take it off and put it back. Lingual is what is going to come up on the screen. They're not going to understand one word. My notation was placed in the garbage can. Wrangle, ring the bell. Stop! And I was saying. Cease! With cease! No. Harmonious, lost in the fog of the translation. No. Lackadaisical, but violently absolute music from the body, which is noise. No words written here, but in the storage house of the memory and in sound movement. What can be sound? Message. No. Smash. No. Baba. I lens. No. No. Violet. No. The storage house of memory in the body. Heart. Set aside the lyrics now. When you're aged, you stretch for every little bit of energy you can find. Happiness is that you can find it practically. Why am I getting so didactic here? I'm going to just launch off into abstractions, the stream that was found with her movement. I found it here. 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 That's the only word we practiced. Lay. All right, you get one more minute of us. What time is it, honey? We got 5, but we'll see you 4. Lucky transference of power, the transference of energy back my butt, back my spine, backwards. She's from Decatur, Illinois. And I'm from East New York, Brooklyn. Thank you.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Kai and Shelley. And yes, ceasefire now. Okay, so Kaylin. Okay. Our next performer is Bob Rosenthal. Bob is a New York poet, a memoirist. Recent publications are Cleaning Up New York, Straight Around Allen, and forthcoming Fifth Avenue Overhead. Welcome, Bob.
How many people were here 50 years ago today? Good. So I'm going to read a work about the Poetry Project, a look back. New to city reading, New Year's 1974, twixt Abby Hoffman and Allen Ginsberg. Mimeoing books in Office of Poetry late into the night, hearing the organ play itself, creating cavemen, collectively composing directly to stencil. A. Pritchard, author of Death's Tit, tearing the podium apart at open reading. Gregory streaking at McClure reading, performing Artaud's Jet of Blood and Sarah's Gas Heart, collating parties for volumes of poetry and magazines in Parish Hall, teaching young persons poetry workshop, mopping up Patti Smith's spittle off the dais, helping Shelley curate a film series, reading a set of psalms and pissing everyone off. Alan reading Wichita Vortex Sutra with Knitting Factory musicians. Alice's Golden Workshop, meeting all my friends at once. Bernadette's experimental writing workshop, discovering present tense. Smoking opium with Kathy Acker and floating on dais through the New Year's reading. Larry Fagan barring the big doors against the giant New Year's mob trying to enter Quasimodo. Hiding in the bathroom with Michael Skolnick to delay a board vote. Sitting on the back table with Jim Brody and all laughing. Reading Our Version of Heaven with Johnny Stanton. The big benefit canceled. Holding no reading, just 50 poets. Siamese Banana Gang demanding sign interpreters for the deaf, no deaf folk present. John Wiener's reading starts and finishes before 8 p.m. Journaling all the Wednesday night readings, noting Anne's noisy late entrances. Ed Marshall finishing his reading saying, "I will break on this one." All the Italian artists staging Da Vinci's Last Supper, baby Max Corso wailing during Robert Lowell's reading. Alan orders Gregory to be a good parent and take the baby out, cooking chili with Don each of the last umpteen years for New Year's, hosting Paul Auster's 20th century French poetry celebration, planting 2 trees in Poets Grove and arranging new plaques. Loving John Ashbery's reading, though fearing he might topple over. René Ricard exacting revenge through poetry. Lenny getting even with his ex in film. Shelley singing Ted's sonnets. So many people come to life over Peter Stuyvesant's bones through poetry and prose, getting hit by cars, smoking in the yard, creating ephemeral books of poetry, hugging after absences, recovering mental health, cleaned up after addiction, returning after nesting, discovering new long projects, revisiting dance, and still here with decades of our aging, always my poetry home.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob Rosenthal. It was amazing. So our next performer is Ari Brostov. Ari Brostov is a member of Writer Against the War on Raza. Please welcome Ari.
Hi, Happy New Year. This poem is called I Want to Be Modern. I want to be modern. I want to encode and decode. I want to convene a working group on prayer to figure out the version that gets results. I want to write a postscript to the Bible. I want to abandon Western metaphysics for real this time, not just impulsively over the course of a December afternoon, spent trying to rotate myself into the version of the world where I can love you. I want to quit using history as my one weird trick and learn how to fuck in an interregnum. I will do my best to help destroy America. I will take the revolution seriously. I do not need to convince you it will also be funny. According to Layla Khaled, the most awkward part of hijacking an airplane is having to make small talk with the other passengers. When she took control of the plane, they went on a spin over Haifa, the city from which she was exiled age 4, sending greetings from the PFLP to air traffic controllers in Cyprus and Egypt until they landed safely in Damascus. According to Diane DePrima, you should keep amphetamines, vitamin B, and dried beans around, know every way out of your house, which neighbors can be trusted. I was with her completely until she said children should be educated in birthing calves and fixing broken arms, to the exclusion of formal logic and semantics. My Jewish heart stopped. I want a lawyer, an accountant, and a gun runner. There is already a crowd outside my house, tourists and drunk students. This is what you get for living in the metropole. I want to know why prophecy is like that. Why is it revealed as science before it appears as life, which seems inefficient? At M's party, I told T that Jesus dying for her sins was intergenerational trauma. Among my people, the memory of disaster is claustrophobic and stale. It lives in the house of the abusers. What is the shape of my militancy? I can't look. You have to look. I can't look. You have to look. I can't look. You have to look. Thank you. Free Palestine.
Woo! Thank you, Ari. I love this question. What is the shape of my militancy? Beautiful. So our next reader is Devin Emery. Emery is a mixy trans choreographer, dancer, healer, registered nurse, and future doctor of psychiatry on this earth to support bodies returning home to themselves. Welcome.
Thank you for this invitation. Cedar. Seed her. Seed her. I sing, I ask, I pray. To be in a good way. Pipoquis. Goodbye, bad dreams. Goodbye, inflammation. Welcome deep breaths in these times when our breath is threatened. Welcome protection. Welcome a golden steep in gratitude for shifting us into communion. An internal cleanse, a burn to return. Gather with patience. Sing her a song. Take only what you need. Boil, steep, drink with intention. Return leaves back to the earth in gratitude. A love note and recipe from Devin and Nana. Embodied Eulogies number 1. Big Vern. Vernon, you queen. Vernon had a parade of beautiful sissies leave the room the moment he passed. They marched up to me and said, "He's done," as they continued out of the hospital in a colorful parade. I couldn't help but think it was them that was done, their belief lingering in the air. Vernon's spirit had left his body, and so there is no point in being here anymore if he wasn't here. I followed their lead and walked in to see what was. Vernon was surrounded by pale pink roses and the scent of a New York City gaggle of chosen queens as he left this plane. We never got to speak with words, but we shared winks and smirks at the absurdity of the situation. Two flames navigating too many tubes. The conversation we shared as his spirit left sounded like an exploding volcano, tapering off as I bathed his remaining vessel. Vernon, gratitude for your flair on the way out. I'm so humbled to be a student of the love around you as you move onward. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Devin. So our next performers are Zoe and Maya Chow. Maya Chow is a multidisciplinary visual artist. Zoe Chow is an actor. Sometimes the Chow sisters collaborate, and it feels good. Welcome. Oh no. Oh, brother. You gotta be kidding me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. I can't do it. Really? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Sure. What?
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Zoe and Maya. It's incredible. So our next performer is Brenda Kultas. Brenda Kultas lives in the East Village. Please join me in welcoming Brenda.
Hi, I think this is my first marathon, I think was in 1993. Fable for sleeping soundly under velvet curtains. Starfruit and pinwheels lie like love, and the winter sky quiets your mind without interrupting thrills of TV and movies, cold, gangsters and lovers. Verses are emptied of cars. Your mind is a metal detector working the riverbank for the lost city of beer, lost pull tabs, last can pulled, a long swig of foam inside an old man bar, like blacked out windows. No preacher can peer in. Like cars on wet leaves, like a Camaro on a cliff or in a ditch, water filled by a field and the last gasp of desire. And the other poem is from a collaboration with the painter Heidi Howard, The Newest Sky. I painted the sky as if it were a friend, and then I kissed the air. Painted the walls too, far above air traffic. I painted a secret sky with thick pages, like a book of the greenest summer. Like the sweet tooth of hummingbirds, I'm drawn to colors and red plastics. For those who have forgotten, I pin gold medals on their hardened hearts to keep them from wandering off. One day I thought of myself strictly as a briefcase for a brain. I put my body inside one, not a soft one, but a hard one with corners. Confined like a flower to the pot, roots wrapped like a brain. I prefer to be an automobile or flag or anything with wheels. Like this body when she had periods and my palette of gold for painting a face made of rags. Like hybrids of painted animals, colors make us do vibrant deeds. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Okay. Our next reader is Eleni Sikilianos. Eleni Sikilianos is the author of 2 hybrid prose ancestor accounts, the Book of John and New Animal Machine, and 10 books of poetry, most recently, Your Kingdom. Welcome, Eleni.
Thank you so much. Hello. Hello, everyone. Happy 2024, kicking 2023 out. I think my first marathon was in 1995. It's like Poetry Anonymous, you have to announce. I'm going to read kind of saying goodbye to this book that came out in 2023, or just tucking it in. I'm going to read one poem from this book and a new poem. This is a poem inspired by, I don't know if any of you saw, the pictures of 2 black holes colliding that NASA posted maybe 5 years ago that really looked like 2 big nostrils in the sky. And then they also imagined what the sound of 2 black holes colliding earlier, but something like... Delicately positioned mirrors track the squeezing and stretching of space as gravitational waves go by. 2 black holes slid toward each other, making a pig's big nostril holes in the sky. 1 big snout sniffing out space. Did you hear the rattling antennas? My question is it rhythmic? Time wrapped around you in a snug, dark glove, and you fell loving out of light like you fell out of light or light rushed out of you. When a mass 31 times the sun and 125 times collide, they create a smash hole of 53 solar masses. I'd say you're missing some. If 3 equals thee, that is what you hear now, hissing. Not the fridge's home hum, not the sound of money gushing, but the chirp of ancient space, like gossip sound going sideways across dark, lakish skies. What gossip did space make? Does it rhyme? The breathing in of all the living, the exhalation of the dead. At the uncrisp edge, space twists, divides, and time trembles, scrambles, and leaks like weather. Did you tear yourself out of the visible universe? Yes, one day I did. Thanks. I'm going to read one more. I can hear my friend Brenda Coltis humming in the audience. I like it. This is new, week old. Moon as doorknob, earth as door. Because it is a simile, the earth holds the moon in place. Moon like moon, tractoring, earth like earth, factoring in earth like moan, etc. And the stars panting through the sky's vents, light's breath holes, super sliced in dark lace. In this broad landscape of likeness, what linens do you wear? Are you a body denser than fire, thinner than air? Are you finer than oxygen, foxier than fur? Are you a body rising in some wasted, wild field of love, more like?
Thank you, Eleni. That was beautiful. Our next performer is Lidia Cortés. Lidia Cortés is the author of 2 collections of poetry, Lust for Lust and Whose Place, and is the recipient of fellowships at the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts and the MacDowell Colony. Welcome, Lidia Cortés.
Thank you. Feliz Año Nuevo. I have a poem, and then I have a couple of words after the poem. What winter does with the cherry trees, after Pablo Neruda and Louise Alexandra Erskine. A cautionary tale. A cautionary tale. A cautionary tale. Moving ahead in this life, there is this something that is part of the adventure of searching for the unexpected story that always becomes the I, despite the desire for him. Am I fooling anyone with this sad tale, thinking about this one gorgeous tragedy, and who will play the part when he's gone? Walking along the road, I felt nothing except the want that held sway in me to obliterate the now of him. Does he have any idea why, what with all the others in the world, it's him I obsess about? What kind of abracadabra can spring me out of this prison? Does that magic juju exist, with the outcome being the end of him, once the cherry in my Manhattan, once the star through the trees? Between the lonely path and the still river, there comes from the beyond a slim calming of the madness and the chaos, but within there persists still a flame of resistance that is clearly his sign, reaching out to imprint his soul as souvenir forever, as if he was still alive to me, when now he's just a frozen beauty. What I really wanted to do is write a song about Palestine, and the numbers are just overwhelming. So I'm just going to say, free
Thank you, Lydia. That was incredible. Our next performer is Gia Gonzalez. Gia Gonzalez is a poet in New York City and a 2023-2024 Immersive Surface B Fellow at the Poetry Project. Please welcome Gia.
Hi, Happy New Year. And shout out to the people who are shutting down JFK for Palestine right now. I'm going to be reading from a longer poem. Choral fragments of Debussy, Purcell, a vague syllabic impression of German and French in singing, English too. Gia lacked force, decision, so her pointer finger would be pushed into the violin string until she felt the pain coagulate brightly in her stomach, like this. She stuck her head out the window and sang, "God Bless America," hoping to be discovered, hair cut bluntly over the forehead and nape. Asked what she'd like to eat for lunch, her grandmother, her father's mother, would inevitably request Peking duck, much to the consternation of her children. Inevitably, the waiter would be flagged down with a sharp gesture of hand and berated. The duck skin was not crispy. She had seen a glimpse of the chest of her mother's father, who in his youth had enrolled in the Philippine Navy, and the crucifix in blurry black ink emblazoned across the width and length of his torso. And in pictures, she had seen the famous beauty of his wife, her grandmother, who was often described as dark. My name is Gia, but Gia is a kind of misnomer. Now Gia collapses into a lilting supposing that reconstitutes Gia, dried mushroom style, as our path forward through this writing. The pig's strangled head, its cooked tongue displayed through open jaws, was that aperture of memory through which Gia was sung, "Oh, pretty woman," observing her own hair being combed and braided. Yes, imprinted on the backs of Gia's eyes were little green crosshatches of fabric hanging ethnically on Gia's bedroom wall. I could be that pasture of forms and delusions in which Gia ran freely, doggish for my love. Couched in the fortnight of her dank swoon, what I yearned for was her coinage, that glittering tender. She who'd grease my palm with it, the ching-ching of life's big grandiosity. My mood is bridal, its floral overture demeans her. Yet what I'm marveling at is just her gleam, her little purse with the false pearl buttons and gold-threaded trim. Thank you.
Thank you, Gia. Okay. So, our next reader is Judah Rubin. Judah Rubin is tired. Welcome, Judah.
I am tired, but I'm glad to see all of you. Can't really see that much. For a fatal arrear. This, excuse me, reading the dead as to forswear them, those words, the dead, and if to abstract from and give myself the inverted pleasure of equivalence, of an equinoctial violence that could speak itself at this distance, approximate poetics with its long trailing light, my name printed on what carved, what I will say is your fragmented flesh into a pulverized wall. How redundant, ridiculous these pious, illusory adjectives, excuses for the noun's violence trapped beneath them that crumble in an agonizing fist. That no, I might forgive himself, myself. Let me abstract myself further, Further, given these my comportment, these the right side of a history of brutalization, etched into the starvation, the sinking redundance of impossible distance of to have spoken it. To have written and so fled it, a meaningless trope, an unremitting after that crawls out from under its adjectives to recognize the infinite else that was the naming, eternal proxy to our present, and that present and after, and all that which sinks in the vain desire to hold fast the dream of name, to be called and to remain unknown to one another in, and to add that, and to this endless syllogistic chain, what sinks unremitting, and is that what I'd have printed on the hellfire that ripped through your sister's home, tearing your body apart, and for a moment to have touched you, etching in the full culpability that is the state, I mean the culpa, and its related gulf, what leaped beyond and held in the abeyance of my name, yes, etched on your last sight, on the shrapnel blotting your last memories, these specular shapes of my unpronounceable name, the gulf of the unnameable, though felt, though known, the theft, the thief that therefore I am, those last thoughts of the sky, trying even in your last breath to steal from you. Yes, I was my abstracted shadow of arms, in the sky and its unpronounceable blue, its unbearable endlessness on a dusty afternoon at the ebbing 3 o'clock in the afternoon where time is locked outside and it's doubling, etching myself, becalmed at the becalmed distance of myself, my distance, my disappearing name, my name etched indelibly in, or was it after all what I can count as painless, instantaneous, this making myself an after of you, to make of you an after, number, poem, post, but the dream of a death, that word finally spoken in the finality of pronouncement, the waking known could not entirely claim what was left of the shredded sky, or the dream of your death, subsequence. This was me looking for a name alone to name, to call subsequence, and I in the desire of an after to the name, the seeking only after what had, oh, into this ebbing light of 3 in the afternoon, these aftering hands, oh, name, 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 oh, there is no adjective, no reprieve in a life only aftered. Oh, name, 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 name. Oh, name, 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 name.
Thank you, Judah. Thank you, Judah. Okay, our next reader is Emily Johnson. Emily Johnson is an artist who makes body-based work. She is of the Yup'ik Nation, is a land of water protector, and an organizer for justice, sovereignty, and well-being. Welcome, Emily.
Shemai, everyone. An invitation to a reorientation. If it is available to you, you can do this with your hands. If it is available to you, stand. Feet wide, knees bent, hips down. This is the rising stomp. You have to think of the ground lifting up underneath you, underneath this floor. The stomp is actually after the land, after the impact, after the sound. The space is in between, possibility, otherwise. This is Lenape Hoking. This is Denina Ethnina. This is Nunat. This is Palestine. This is homeland. This is where we come into being. This land, these stars. Fuck the silos, the separations, the reductions, the removals, the thirst. We disrupt your power, jostle your notion of world. We ensure you are no longer the center. We ensure us. We are all of the front lines, every one of us, every fight. Gather here, rise and stomp. Name the missing and murdered. Name the struggles, all of them, the resistance, the fight. Name the warriors, the leaders, the taken. Feel the air. Fill your lungs. Feel the ground beneath your feet, your hand, your head. Feel where you are. Gather here and give me this. We are the intermediaries between breath, between airspace, between those who can breathe and move and those who cannot anymore. We are not conjuring them, but we are conjuring joy of them, offering it again and again and again until no more are taken from us. Feel the air, fill your lungs, feel your feet or your hands or your head on the ground where you are. Feel yourselves, each one of them, orient to justice. Announce care as your labor, protection as your everyday. Gather here.
Thank you so much to Emily and to all of the readers and performers of the last hour, and thank you to Miren Arsanios for hosting us. The host, you can catch Miren reading in the 4 to 5 p.m. hour, and the host for the next hour is Ethan Philbrick.